All right. Hello and welcome. It's Miro the Hero, founder of Manifest X, coming at you live with the incredible community today. We've got Relinde Morse here, straight out of the Netherlands, who's going to speak to us all about high vibe client attraction and how she and her clients are doing regular six-figure launches and attracting amazing clients who are energetically aligned as well as strategically. And we have Danella Burnett, who I've personally partnered with to launch and create more Manifest X events. And she is somebody I personally call for advice, who's got a lot of wisdom when it comes to creating 6- and 7-figure events, virtual and in person. So Danella and I actually met at an LA Mastermind in Beverly Hills. And she was just like, you know what? Small events are actually great because they're the most profitable, and that's amazing. And then I saw her pull off an incredible 100-person event with Sean Douglas in the room, which was a game changer. And so if you want to do a 6-figure, 7-figure event, Danella has a tip or two. She's been around the block a couple of times. She didn't just start yesterday. Decades of experience and help lots of people scale amazing businesses with their events. So we have two powerhouse speakers, and then all of you, we have Christine Grant in the house, we've got Dr. Eve and Hannah. So everyone here is an expert in their very own right. We've got coaches in the room, healers, speakers, intuitive entrepreneurs. We've got Renee, my leadership buddy. We just graduated the Masters in Transformation process together. Well, I just graduated. She's still going through the process, about to finish. So I acknowledge you and all that you are and represent here. So we got who here is in alignment with energy, who's in alignment with manifesting, who's in alignment with the woo-woo stuff that's too out there for most people, but you know who you are. Cool. So just want you to see that you're not alone. This is a room for magical beings to show up with all of their gifts, okay? And who here is okay with growing an empire, having profits, and making millions? Is that okay with you? Then just go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, great. So, I created Manifest X Mastermind because I found places where it was okay to be spiritual, but not okay to talk about money and growing a business. And I went to places where it was okay to talk about business and being an executive and being a CEO, but don't even start talking about the law of attraction because you're going to be shown the exit, right? And so this is the one place where you get to show up with all of your gifts and, manifest the life of your dreams and have an impact, be a dreamer and a doer. And so anyway, if this is for you, this is for you. If not, you can leave. And I'm so grateful for all of you who decided to be here today and invest your time. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it. I would love for Relinde to share a little about who you are, what you do for people, and the magic sauce that you are, what you're bringing for us today. And I want to also be mindful of time since my assistant is not here. I want you guys to hold me accountable. We have 20 minutes for speakers, and we'll leave room of 10 minutes of Q&A for all of you attendees. And I might have some curious questions myself. So with that being said, floor is yours, Relinde.
Hi, so nice to meet you all. Really nice to be here. Okay, so my background is actually in performing arts. So I worked for a long time, about 17 years as a dancer and a choreographer, and I'm a theater teacher, very multi-passionate. I learned all these different things until about 9 years ago. I ended up going to Bali and I ended up staying for 3 years, and I completely changed my business around. And I also had kind of an insight that I was like, okay, great. I've always been doing what I love. I've always been following my heart, but I also want to make money. And that became just like a project for me. It's like, I'm going to figure out money. I don't get it. Like, I'm so good in so many things. Why am I not making money? Right. So that was something that I was really just, I don't know, interested in and curious about at that point. Long story short, that was definitely a journey to figure it out. And at one point, there was something where I shifted from thinking of myself being all these different things. Like, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a Qigong teacher, I'm a theater teacher, I'm a dancer, I'm a choreographer, I'm all these different things, to how can I actually find my one thing? That's how it felt for me. How can I bring that together and then create something around this, where I can create, like you said, Miro, like an empire around, how can I actually do that and make an impact? And it was also very liberating because I didn't feel stuck anymore. Like, oh, if I'm not a choreographer, that made it, like, that continued her career, I'm a failure. Or if I'm not this, I'm a failure. So it's really not about how I express it. It's really about that I know what I'm expressing, and that is what I'm going to create in alignment with the way I want to live my life. Like the freedom that I want to have. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to make money, take my mom on a holiday when I want to, like go and see friends that I have all over the world. So how can I do that? That grew in the business that I have today, which is a business where I have 2 online programs for coaches and experts. So one is helping them grow their business, and the other one is actually helping them I'm teaching them a modality that helps you shift limiting beliefs in your subconscious mind, because that was one of the other key things. So after finding the one thing and creating my offers around it, that is where I found, like, now there's a lot of beliefs going on that are not in alignment. And of course I had to learn all the hard ways, but I really found out that these deep subconscious programming beliefs didn't always serve me. And that is what I had thought of today to talk about a little bit more, to see like how this high vibe client attraction, how can you attract clients, is when you know what you're doing, when you have offers that are really in alignment with what you want to do, with also how you want to live your life and how you can best serve. So that means the pricing is right, all that, but then also your beliefs are really in alignment. So that I thought to start up like this. Yes. Miro, you want to say something?
Yes, I do. I'm like jumping out of my seat. It's really exciting. I'd love for you to share more about your belief shifting process, and also want to turn it over to our audience, whether you're here with us live or from the comments. Just go ahead and share, what are your biggest limiting beliefs that you're aware of, or biggest challenges when it comes to launching your aligned offers, raising your prices with confidence, right? Or just being happy with the money that you're making and making the money that you want to make. So that's for all of you guys, Christine, Renee, Playful Out. Take advantage of these experts in our room by sharing your challenges, because this is the opportunity to break through. Awesome. With that, over to you, Relinde.
Yeah, please do let me know. That's a great question. And I mean, I work with these limiting beliefs literally with people with any kind of business, like completely in the beginning, and people that are already making 7 figures, and finding out what is there. And what I also noticed for myself, it's actually really, I'm going to say never ending, which I don't mean negative, but in a way it's never ending. It's just, we are programmed in such subtle ways. And those beliefs are so specific that it's really nice to know how to identify exactly what those beliefs are and then how to shift them. So Renee says, I have a hard time asking for money. And oh, where's Renee? She's not on the camera. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, exactly. So if you have a hard time asking for money, there can be so many beliefs that are at the core of that. So Renee, I'm going to say something else first before I look at the other comments, but I will read them. And when I go deeper into this specific one, but what I do with my clients is that I listen to them speak. Like, I have a hard time asking for money, this and that is going on. And while they speak, I've trained myself to hear what is the subconscious mind saying underneath this. So I'm basically just writing down beliefs, like a whole list. And then what we do is we muscle test them. So I never say, okay, so this is your belief, or now you have that belief. We don't know. This is what when we talk about it, we are in a brainwave that is from our conscious mind. We don't necessarily know. So we really want to know what is in the subconscious mind. And therefore I use muscle testing that comes from applied kinesiology. You can muscle test. Is there anybody here who's done muscle testing or knows what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay, great. So the muscle testing that you can use for many things, you can literally use this for beliefs, and you can use this in every, specific way that the beliefs are. So for example, if I hear, okay, I have a hard time asking for money, I'm going to write down so many beliefs, and we're going to dig for the beliefs that could be underneath that, because there's beliefs, subconscious programming that is not allowing you to easily ask for the money that you really want to ask for. And then we muscle test them. So literally go, like, for example, if you muscle test like this, there's different ways, but I would literally go with my eyes closed. It's like, I'm worthy of asking money, for example, and then test if that is a yes or a no. So that is a really powerful tool. If you know how to muscle test, is to really ask your subconscious mind, is this belief mine? So if I have a hard time asking for money, it can be literally a belief around money. It's I'm worthy and deserving of asking for this money. It's okay for me to ask money as a healer, as a coach. You can do specific amounts. It's okay if I ask 1,000 euros for my program. Maybe that's okay, but I can ask 10,000 euro for my program. No, so you can do the amounts. But there's also deeper layers on this. So for example, if I would think of I'm worthy of asking for money, I would always think, what is the most bottom belief underneath this? I am worthy, for example, just I'm worthy, like in general, I am deserving. And those beliefs, you might, but your conscious mind be, yeah, I believe I'm worthy. And then you go test them, and sometimes it doesn't match. And this is actually already really powerful, because now you've uncovered something in your subconscious mind that you really didn't expect, and you bring that into the light. I will talk about the next step in a minute. Okay. So far, so good. If there's any questions, if there's anything that comes up, please ask or unmute yourself.
I just want to highlight what you're sharing, really, Relinde, because the nature of unconscious beliefs is that they're unconscious. We don't know that they're there. We're unaware of them. And it's one thing too, as healers, to know how to do a muscle test, and it's another thing to actually test the beliefs, because we get to remember our tools. And I know that even for myself, I have a tendency to go, oh, I already know this, or I've done this before, but then are we practicing it? Are we living it every day? Because the truth is, there's always another layer to peel off. And if you're already happy with all the results that you've created and there's no more people to impact them, by all means, right? You're complete. But if there's more people that you get to serve on this planet and more abundance for you to create, then the invitation is to remember your tools and go stretch to that deeper layer.
Yeah, I love that. And I always feel like when we don't go to the tools, sometimes it's like, there's a resistance. It can be tough, because I'll speak about like, so now if okay, I know my belief, there's still something there, because those beliefs are there for a reason and they've benefited you in many ways. So that's why I don't believe that it always works to just do affirmations or to just think, okay, I think I'm not worthy. Okay, I'm worthy, great. Sometimes, yes, it might be the time and the belief just shifts. But sometimes we need to do a little bit of extra work. But let me look at what Christine said. This is really interesting too. I want to help more people. I do not want to include those that cannot afford high ticket prices. Yeah, absolutely. And this one I find always, first of all, great. And not everything has to happen at the same time. So I very often work with people where I want to flip the funnel. So I'm like, okay, you can handle a certain amount of people. You might want to start with higher end ticket prices so that you can actually generate the cash flow. And I wanted to speak about that specific thing because it's a belief thing, but also a practical thing. Generate the cash flow and you can grow your business so that you can create lower ticket offers. So that is just something, Christine, I don't know if you thought about that, but to really just, say if you have a question about that.
Okay, so I actually, what I do, my magic, I did for free for 4 years. Before and when I helped someone with her situation, she said, oh my God, I need to pay you. And this light bulb went off and I said, what? So I wasn't honoring the value of what I do. And which is I ghostwrite love letters for others for any type of relational challenge. So it's across the whole board.
It's beautiful.
And thank you. And but I enjoy doing it. To me, it's art. And so I don't know how to screen people. Like, for example, I did raise my my price recently, and I've been doing this for many years. And then I had a repeat client from years ago call me when I had a much lower rate. And so I said, oh, well, my rates have gone. And then it turns out as I'm doing her letter, she's like a multimillionaire, and then but then, so it's hard to tease out without, I don't want to so what's your financial, give me a copy of your tax credits from last year. I mean, I don't want to do that. So it's hard because the realm I work in is so emotional. It's tender
Yeah.
turf. So
Yeah.
I'd love some help with that.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so I want to be mindful of the time, so that I can't, but beautiful, Christine, and I love it. I mean, I'm always like, you're just this, integer person. You're like, I want to help, and I genuinely love what I do, and I think we all have that, and I'm really connected to it. So it's kind of almost hard to do that money thing. And this is why in the beginning I very quickly went over this, but I'm like, you need to know your one thing. So what are you serving with? And this is beautiful, you're giving people more love in their life and opening up love where there's maybe misunderstand. I mean, amazing. But now there's a higher version of you, that is an elevated version of you that sees Christine making really profitable business, like having that money coming in so that you can live the life that you want to do and give the things that you want and feel the relaxed and all the things that money can bring and the doors it can open. So if you're asking if your offer isn't in alignment with that, here's actually where the beliefs also come in. They're going to be beliefs. First of all, if you have a belief, for example, I'm not worthy of asking for the money, you're going to like do that, but at the same time it's going to be confirmed. I'm not saying that you create everything that other people do, they do what they do, but if there's somebody who is actually a millionaire and tells you, I don't want to pay these certain rates, there's just something going on there where you actually want to really solidify yourself in your vibration, like here's why I am doing this and I know I'm worthy of it. The subconscious beliefs that might come up as well, if your subconscious knows that you're charging too low rates for it to actually be in alignment with how you truly want to live and serve, you might not sell it. Even the other person picks up on it, is like, this is not right, this monetary exchange is too low, and subconsciously something happens where it actually bounces off. So it is extremely interesting to figure out what those beliefs are that are underneath that fear that tell you that you're not serving if you charge higher tickets.
It's interesting. I worked in various film industry, film location contracts, real estate, advertising. I had my own therapy practice for family therapy. I was educational psychologist. Never had an issue ever, but this is my art. And I think it's that artist mentality that comes in. It's like, oh, I just love doing this. And I love putting smiles and opening hearts and connecting people. It just I get something out of it that's aside from the monetary piece. And so it's hard to delineate, I think, on that and draw those, I don't like to use the word boundaries, but must-haves or conditions.
Yeah, but it's so interesting what you say, right? Like I can receive that money through this avenues, but I cannot receive it through this like life purpose thingy that I've created and that I really want to do. And I think we are actually in a time where that paradigm is shifting and we are doing it. Like you're doing frontier work because, our parents or grandparents didn't get that. Indeed, we've been a long time programmed that you either do art or you do what you love or you make a lot of money.
Right.
There's 100% programming in here and conditioning on so many ways. And that's why I was an artist for 17 years. I didn't make no money at all. I made money, but I was always like a little bit and then nothing, and then maybe a lot for a month and then nothing. Like it was like that. And I was conditioning. And now I'm so much like, why are we paying a lawyer 400 euros for 20 minutes? I don't know. And is it weird if you do something that really brings people together, that expresses love, that is healing? That's programming. That's literally how we program. I mean, money doesn't exist. Don't start on that, but like money is made up. So there's just so much programming. So again, what are the beliefs? 6 minutes, good. So for everybody, so here it is. So you have this situation going on. Yeah, so you have a situation going on. Thank you so much for sharing this because I think a lot of people recognize this, Christine. Thank you. The situation going on, you're like, for this, I really have a hard time asking for money, or I don't have a hard time asking for money maybe, but I just don't attract the client, or like whatever it is that goes on. And you did a launch and it didn't do as well. Now, what you do is you ask yourself, I like to close my eyes when I ask, because then I know I go deeper into the subconscious mind. You ask yourself, what is this situation saying about me? Or like, what kind of person would have this, you know, if you want to make a third person, like have this result, what would that person believe about themselves in order to have this life experience? If we go from, we actually are, you know, our mind, our subconscious mind mirrors back in the reality. And then you write down those beliefs, just literally journal, write them down, keep them coming. Beliefs are not logical, as Miro says, they're unconscious. So in this process already, we're bringing them to the conscious. So there's going to be a conscious mind like, this is not logical, this doesn't make sense. Great, now you're on the right track. So you write all these things down, and then you muscle test them, which is so powerful. If you know how to muscle test, if you don't know how, there's plenty of videos also about that on the YouTubes. But then you muscle test, and I want to speak a little bit in those 3 minutes I think that I have left about. So then you muscle test, you know your beliefs. So the first step, you've done it. That is amazing. You have made what was unconscious conscious, and now you can do something with it. So if you figured out like, oh no, I figured out I'm not worthy to have money, or I'm not worthy at all, or like I'm not valuable, or I'm not allowed to make a lot of money as an artist, or like whatever it is that came up for you, now you want to reframe. So you literally want to look at that belief and say, what will be a more empowering belief? Like if I would be a different person that would believe that it's very easy to make lots of money doing my life's purpose work, for example, how empowering would that feel? How would I approach my day? And this is where you really want to allow yourself to go there without you maybe 100% believing that, but to really have that. And if you feel like it is great, but I don't believe it yet, you can also think like, how can I create a belief, or how can I choose a thought that I can accept? You know, if I want to believe I can totally be a millionaire being an artist, and you're like, that sounds great, but I'm not feeling it. Can you be something milder than that? Can you go a level below that so that you can slowly start to accept it? The reason that it doesn't just shift, if it doesn't just shift, it is because your subconscious has 4 reasons to hold on to those beliefs. And I can't go in all of those today, but that is what I often speak about and work on with my clients. And I have some free thingies for that I can share if that is, if you want to. And then you can actually go deeper into looking at like, how's that belief created, but also why is my subconscious thinking that these beliefs are keeping me safe, that they are keeping me happy, because that is the reason that it's holding on to this. It's actually going to think that it's benefiting you more than that it is not.
Love that. So one of the biggest nuggets I got from what you shared just now is that you can ask yourself, like, what would a person, you know, who has this believe about themselves, right? Or what kind of person has this result happening? And it was really fun because I'm playing full out, right? I'm here learning with you guys. And I was like, you know, what kind of person shows up late to his own mastermind, right? That's what happened. And I was like, I must be unprepared. And so now I got to play with that, with the reframe. I'm unprepared. I muscle tested it. Yep, clearly Miro's unprepared.
Yeah.
And so the reframe is like, what if I'm going with the flow? What if I'm just a master of impromptu? And that's what's really happening. Right? So now I get to work on the belief that I can be prepared and go with the flow at the same time.
Okay, yeah, well, you nailed it. That's amazing. Exactly. That's it. That's exactly it.
But I will say to your point, Relinde, that without being aware of like making the unconscious conscious, right? Without that, this stuff could just continue to happen, and I'll be like, it's happening to me, and I don't know why, but it's because of the belief system. So
it will, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's all. That's all. I'm complete. I want to know what came up for people, especially Renee and Christine, who've been sharing and shifting your beliefs and challenges around money and charging what you're worth and all that good stuff. Let's open up for you.
I'd like to share a little nugget that was shared with me, and that is my value doesn't change based on someone else's bank account. And the exchange doesn't have to be money. Like if I know I can serve, my value of serving them, it might be money, it might be another exchange, it might be asking for a referral, it might be, you know, even opening it up and saying, you know, I know that I can help you in this way. And normally we would charge this, or these are the kind of results that you might get from this. You know, how can we work together? And sometimes in that, how can we work together? You know, it's not a cash exchange, but that's something that I have to remember, though, is my value of what I bring to the table isn't predicated by their bank account.
Solid bars coming through with the fire, Danella. I appreciate it so much. That's good. And I want to say something to your point. I'm loving that we're doing a discussion, and this is really Q&A for you guys to ask questions for Relinde while we have her, because she is in Amsterdam, but not in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands right now, not in Amsterdam. And so joining us from midnight in Central European time. So I really appreciate you being here. And so I want to welcome you guys, Manifest X members, to ask anything of Relinde while she's here. And we will get some quality time with Danella in just a moment. And to your point, Danella, I was blessed with the opportunity to network with a legit billionaire. His name is Vinny Chopra, and he's made his millions. He manages over $800 million in property in his portfolio, and he did it with real estate investing. And so I introduced him to somebody who ended up joining his one-on-one mentorship, which is $100,000. So I think it's always exciting when somebody has $100,000 mentorship offer. It's like, yes, go you. That's amazing. And so I made a referral to him, and then I was calling him essentially like, hey, are you going to send me some money because of that? And he was like, you know what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to gift you my group coaching program so that you can learn how these guys are doing this. And so it's like, that's amazing, because I've been wanting to learn real estate. And so now I'm getting mentorship from a billionaire, and I don't have to pay the $10,000 for his program, but we're having this reciprocal relationship where the value that I bring is being respected, and I get to value what he's doing. And so I just wanted to share that we will have Vinny Chopra come to our next Monday Mastermind. So definitely come back next week. He's going to share all the goods and his billionaire mindset mentality next Monday. So plugging that, come back for more. And all this to say that value comes in different ways, and you get to own the value of what you bring, right? You don't have to lower your prices, like Danella said, based on whose bank account is in front of you. So with that said, over to you, Relinde. Any thoughts, questions, closing words for our people? And I know you have a client attraction challenge coming up. Talk to us about that and how people can get in touch with you.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much. So I'm doing a high vibe client attraction experience, which is starting on Monday. And I will talk a lot about the beliefs. Day 2 specifically goes deep into the beliefs, how to muscle test, how to find them, how to shift them, all the things. But then also the other things that I talked about, how to find your one thing and really create your offers in alignment and your pricing, and then how to attract clients to this always. So that is next week. I'm going to share the link. I think it's easiest if I share the link in the comments.
Of course.
You're very welcome. It is a little earlier because not again at midnight for me, but it's still at a time that we're in the US. I literally woke up for this mirror. I went to bed because I go to bed like at 9 or something.
That makes sense. I was like, how are you able to be this fresh at midnight? That explains everything. So it's power naps. Got it.
It's a power nap. Yeah. No, but it's really fun. I was like, okay, I can be I don't know, in LA with you, even without having to fly. So that feels good.
But you're omnipresent, you're everywhere. So it looks like it's relindemorse.com/high-vibe.
Yes.
We'll put it in the description for sure for you replayers. But thank you so much for sharing that. And is that a free challenge or paid?
No, it's free. It's absolutely free. You can just come. There's also replays for everything, but it's 5 days. Replays will be for a limited time, and it's just really beautiful. Like I do this every 3 months, and it's just a really beautiful high vibe experience where I would love to see you there, and I will get a lot out of it as well. Yeah. Yay!
Are you inviting me?
Of course.
All right, great. Well,
absolutely.
Sweet.
I was meaning you in general. Everybody here, everybody's watching with you. So yeah,
well, I'd like to have a personal invite. I'm going to extend the invite to Kermit, and Rick is joining us, and Schroeder, and Will, and everyone here. So if you're here, you're invited. Join us on Monday for the High Vibe Client Attraction Experience. With that, let's give it up for Relinde. So much love to you. Thank you for blessing us with your presence, your energy, and experience. And we can't wait to see more of all the greatness that you're up to starting next Monday.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I would have stayed, Mira and I talked about it. I would totally have stayed and hear the other presentation, but since it is midnight, well, actually 12:30 now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to bed. Thank you so much.
That's okay. We'll forgive you
Thank
this
you.
this one time. We'll forgive you. Next time, you get to stay the whole time.
Okay, absolutely.
I get some quality rest. Thank you so much, Relinde.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
beautiful day. Bye-bye.
All right. So with that, I'm excited to reintroduce Danella, who already shared her greatness. And Danella is my soul sister, who I personally call for coaching and advice because she knows her shit. What I love about Danella is she's very grounded, tapped in, and intuitive, and she knows some logistics. She knows how to get shit done. She knows how to make the money make sense. And that's definitely something that I know I needed to like actually do the math. Okay, how many people do we need to have at an event? How big of an offer do we get to present? What does our conversion rate need to be in order for this to be successful? And anyway, all of that to say, what Danella is creating, she's created 6- and 7-figure events for some of the best in the coaching and healing space. I was personally right there in the room when over 100 people attended Rock Your Gift. Some of you may have seen that content. And it ended up being over $180,000 in sales from a 3-day event. Is that right?
Yeah, and in the aftermath, it went over multiple 6 figures in the week following.
Of course, because that's just what Danella does. No big deal. So with all that being said, Danella, welcome to Manifest X. Welcome to the community. Say what's up.
Awesome. Well, I love this because I like to think that I bring a real practicality to all of the good stuff that you all are bringing to the world. I don't always look at myself as, the healer, the impactor, but if you all don't have a grounded place in order to grow your business, earn the money that you're meant to earn, get out there and impact the world with some real practicality, then you can't stay in business. You can no longer impact the way that you mean to. So I love the fact that we work with incredible heart-centered, intuitive entrepreneurs. We work with those who help people make more money, lose more weight, have better relationships, have a better relationship with themselves, be happier, like all of the things that people stare up at the ceiling at 3 o'clock in the morning, praying for answers, praying for relief, praying for solutions. I think one of the best ways to get to those people is through speaking in events. And speaking in events, I think, is one of the most effective, economical, and efficient ways for you to get out there and grow your business and grow it with real impact, income, and influence. So I've been doing events for a really, really long time. Started in the personal space, moved into nonprofits, municipalities. We've done events for as small as 20 people, as large as 250,000 people. But I attended my own first personal development event in 2006. And it was kind of like, the seas parted, the skies opened up. And I'm like, this is like everything I love about events. It's experience, it's vision, it's elements that were separate, but you bring them together and it, the whole is greater than the parts and it's impacting lives and it's just magic. And so I moved my business from that time to working specifically with experts and entrepreneurs. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2008. And like many entrepreneurs, the first couple of years kind of felt like I was pushing a boulder uphill. Have you guys ever felt like, I know I'm doing stuff and like work is getting done, but it's hard, it's difficult, it's not predictable. And I was growing my business for the most part then through networking, through one-on-one, through referrals, which are a great way to grow your business. Over the course of about 8 years, we did grow to nearly a 7-figure business, but I honestly never knew when the phone was going to ring. I mean, I knew I could go to a networking event, but like, were the people I was supposed to meet going to be there? I don't know. It was kind of a roll of the dice. Was the phone going to ring? Was Schroeder going to think of me next Tuesday? I've got a big bill coming up, but is he going to think of me on Tuesday to refer me to somebody? I don't know. So it was really stressful, even though we were growing and successful. And then I was watching my clients who were stepping up on stages and predictably growing their business because they could get out on a stage and know that they were going to have the right people raise their hands and enter sales conversations, or they could schedule events, fill those events, offer incredible value, offer their products and services, and know what was going to happen with their business. And so in 2017, I was like, okay, it's time for me to take the stage. And I have to tell you, since then, our business has just grown exponentially. I took the stage, got training in 2017, learned more about selling from the stage, how to be more impactful from the stage, inviting people, to connect with me from the stage, really learning how to leverage my time and grow the business more predictably. And then I had my own first 3-day event in January of 2020. It was very exciting, to kind of do what I helped clients do. We had a 6-figure weekend. We launched Speakers Need to Speak. And I thought 2020, of course, would be very much like the previous few years had been. Sometimes I'm on the stage. Sometimes I'm in the back right corner of the room. There's incredible things happening. Lives are being changed. Money's being made. And then we all know what happened in March of 2020. But thank goodness, we discovered very quickly that we could have as much impact digitally and connect as we could in person. And now the beautiful thing is, whether you enjoy being in person with your audience or you prefer being virtual, you can do either one. But it is, I think, critical today for you all as entrepreneurs to be utilizing speaking and events to grow your business.
I couldn't agree more. 100%, Danella. So much that's the cornerstone of our business, and all that we do at Manifest X is like hitting a stage. And both on a delivery standpoint where we can transform lives, because I've done all this coaching one-on-one and it's amazing. And when we do a 3-day event, it's like 3 months, 6 months of coaching in 3 days, right? So 100% on board with that. And I want to do a poll of the audience, because we have people here. Some of them, you've done an event before. Some of them are doing your first. I know we got Rick in the room. I don't want to mispronounce your last name, so I'm going to not do that. Rick's in the room. I know he's been doing webinars and virtual events every week. Oh, it's Empress. Just kidding. Empress is in the house. But Rick is here, and I know he's been doing weekly webinars for like years, and has built like a full empire from that. So I want to know where everyone's at with virtual events. Do you have a date already for an upcoming event? Tell us what the date is and your name in the comments. If you're going to be creating your first, or just where are you at in the journey of creating events? Like interested, or like, oh, events are not for me, it's for other people. Just like go ahead and put it in the comments so that Danella knows, and you can actually get some relevant coaching around your next 6- and 7-figure event.
Well, the beauty is, as you're putting those in there, regardless of whether you've built an event before or not, or maybe you've had an event and you didn't quite get the results that you were looking for, or you're like, you know what, it's time, I see others doing it, it's time for me to do the same. I think what I'm going to share with you today is either going to help you up-level your next event or give you confidence to do your first event. Because when we hear from experts that don't get the results that they're looking for, and I'm predominantly talking about enrollment events where you're doing an event, might be a 1-day event, might be a 3-day event. It might even be a half-day masterclass. But if you're inviting people to your event and you're going to make them an offer. You're going to give them a next step for working with you. The amount of time of that event really has to do with how big that next step is. If it's a big next step, it's your 10, 15, 20, 50, $100,000 program, you probably need the time and space of a 3-day event in order to bring that person close enough to you to get to that know, love, and trust factor, because we're really beyond know, like, and trust. We're at know, love, and trust when we're opening up our wallet to do 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, $100,000. I want to love you when I'm investing that much in you and believing that I'm going to get that kind of value from our working together. But these 6 steps are critical if you're building an event that you want to have impact, and you want to make sure you're not going to get that horrible surprise that some event hosts do when they go, yay, I made 6 figures. It cost me 6 figures to do it. Or I planned on an event for 100 people and there were 10. Or I just don't know what happened. So super quick, I'm just going to give you the 6 steps, and then I'll go in as deep as we can or answer some questions about it. When you're thinking about that event, first and foremost, before you do anything, number 1 is the end in mind. What is that vision for the event? Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it for you? Why are you doing it for the audience? Is it virtual? Is it in person? What does it feel like? Is it a Red Roof Inn experience, or is it a Ritz-Carlton experience? Is it for a low ticket item? Is it for a high ticket item? The more dialed in that you can get about that vision, the better decisions you're going to make to get to that goal. And I'm sure many of you have done vision boards before, or you've done exercise. I mean, if you're manifesting, you have to be visioning. If you don't have that clear picture in your head, you're not going to make good decisions to get there. You're not going to ask for the right help and support. So you really want to spend some time in what is the end in mind for me, for the audience, for the outcome that I'm looking for. And perhaps even do a vision board or something so that that target is really, really clear for you, so you can make great decisions along the way. 2 is it's got to make dollars and cents. I would venture to guess this is skipped by 90% of event hosts who do not take this time to really take a look at all of the expenses of an event. We have a comprehensive budget that when we go through it, it's all the things that you would think about: audio, visual, team, technology, catering, all the way though down to postage stamps, because there is so many things that may come up as expenses for your event that if you're not planning for it, you can really get quite a surprise the day after. So we look at all of the expenses, but then we look at all the revenue as well. There's 17 different revenue streams for events. Some are fitting for nonprofits, some are fitting for enrollment events, some are better fits for summits. But you want to make sure that you probably have the 3 to 5 best revenue streams for your event, and that you're budgeting for that. You've got numbers attached to that. How many people do you need at your event in order for your expenses to make sense? What do you need to price your tickets at? If you're going to have sponsors, what do those numbers relate to? I can't tell you how many event hosts bring us in when they realize things are going a little bit wonky, and we dig in and we're like, great, so your tickets are $197. How did you derive at that number? Well, I don't know. That's what everyone else is doing. And that number has no basis for the big picture, or they've priced their sponsorships without taking a look at what's the value those sponsors get. You know, you can increase or decrease those sponsorships by a great deal by adding more value if you need to increase the amount of money you get for sponsors. And it might be a fee, it might be a revenue share, it might be in kind. Maybe you bring in a print company as a sponsor and they do all of your printing for you at your event. But if you're not looking at that big picture, it's difficult to make those good decisions. And then part of the dollars and cents is also, What's your ticket map? Where are those attendees coming from? What activities are you going to take? Are you speaking? There's 13 different ways you might fill your event. Are you speaking? Are you doing smaller events? Are you doing affiliate marketing? Are you doing paid traffic? You've got to have metrics that you're checking and you're keeping track of so that you're in a position to make a change. Maybe you planned on getting a lot of your tickets from one speaking opportunity. Well, what if that speaking opportunity didn't have the audience you thought that it would have? You've got to be keeping track of that so that you can make a shift. Or maybe your ads are just killing it. If you're not keeping an eye on that, you wouldn't know to put a little bit more time and effort into that way of filling your event. So that is critically important. And it's far easier if you need to make changes to your event to do it then when it's on pen and paper and in a brainstorming fashion, rather than we've already put it out there in the world and it's harder to make changes. Step 3 is super simple. Logical logistics. We're going to let that budget come to life. We're going to get the contracts that we need. We're going to hire the vendors that we need. We're going to start taking those actions, getting the sponsors, selling the tickets, tracking our ticket map. We're just going to bring that budget and everything on it to life, leading towards our event. And we're going to start to work on what exactly is the content for our event going to be? How are we going to map that out so it takes our audience through what I call the 5P framework so that they're ready to make a decision? And again, super quick today, I'm just hitting the high points. But if you want your audience to make a decision to do business with you, they have to go through this journey so that they're ready to make a decision when you ask them to do business with you. You want to start your event with the promises of why they're there, what's to come. You then want to bring them to the pain and the problem. We never want to cause pain to our audience, but we do want to be the mirror that reflects the pain or the problem that they're in, that they're sitting and staring at the ceiling and asking for your solution, which is step 3, the pathway, which is your solution from the pain or the problem that they're in back to the promises of working with you, of doing the work to get to the other side. Step 4 is what I call program. That's where we dig a little bit deeper. We answer all the questions. Now, your emotional buyers, as soon as you show them the pathway, they're ready. They're hitting the button. They're ready to do work with you. The program is to allow those who are a little more intellectual buyers the opportunity to ask the questions, get the answers, and be comfortable making that decision, answering those frequently asked and should ask questions where you reframe and repitch your offer so that they're comfortable making a decision. And then the 5th P is profits. And that's profits for you because the right people will have said yes, but also profits celebrating those who said yes and leaving those who are not now or no, this isn't for me, better than you found them and ready to say yes to you perhaps in the future. So you're working on that with logical logistics. So now when you go to step 4, now we're marketing. And step 4 is marketing, not mayhem. You've done the work. You know the words to use. You know the content. You can more easily talk about how great your event is going to be, attract the right people, because you know exactly who your event is for, who it's not for, what value they're going to get from the event. And so you can get out there and fill your event with so much more confidence, having done this harder work from the beginning. So marketing, not mayhem. Step 5, execute your event with excellence. Make sure you get some support so that you can be on the stage fully present with your audience. And it might be members of your team, members of your community. You might hire a company like ours to fully support you, but you're going to need help with team and technology and the sales. And when you're focused on your audience, you're going to get your best results. If you're not thinking about, oh no, dinner is right after this. Is the hotel going to be ready? Are we moving to the green room or the orange room? I don't even know. And and Miro I saw an email out of the corner of my eye and he can't get in on Zoom, and how am I going to help him? Like, you can't be thinking about all of that. You need to be focused and present with your audience. So get some support, get some help so that you're not trying to run the event from the stage. And then the final step is the fortunes in the follow-up, or don't brief the debrief. Make sure you go back and take a look at your event. Follow up with those who are doing business with you, those who said not yet, and go back with your team and all of your vendors and all of your sponsors and get feedback, because most of our clients are doing events that they mean to repeat. And so if you take the time while it's fresh, you can find those little tweaks and those little iterations that will make your next event even better than the one that you have now. And we take our clients through this 6-step process, which is why 94% of our event clients do 6 to 7 figures a year or a weekend through their events, because we don't skip these steps. So I hope this has given you guys just a lot of things to think about and some great value. And if you're working on an event now, have you skipped any of these steps? I encourage you to go back, give some time and effort so that you're going to get the results and the success that you're looking for, and so that you can impact those lives that you're meant to serve.
Boom. Let's go, Danella. Thank you so much for sharing that. Y'all, I cannot underline and highlight enough that this process that Danella just shared is gold, and it works. I've seen it, I've done it over and over again, thinking 90% of the content that I'm going to deliver, and then missing all these other components about the follow-up, just having the grounded presence to the numbers, being in a relationship with how many tickets you get to sell, giving ample time of promotion, and having a team so you don't have to do it all by yourself. What if you can enroll people who are going to be selling tickets on your behalf by giving them commissions, right? There's so many opportunities that are able to be missed, but also to be capitalized on. I mean, did you know I wrote some of these down, 13 ways to fill your event. That's amazing. 17 revenue streams at your event. Are you all maximizing them? I don't know that you are. So look, I just want to say thank you so much, Danella, for opening the door for all these opportunities and blessings. It's been such an honor to have you here and just to be in partnership with you on all the greatness that you're creating. So yes, I want to turn it over to our people. I know so many of you are doing summits, virtual events at various levels, and this is Q&A time. We are close to the time, so I don't know how much time you have with us still, Danella, but are you open to taking 1 or 2 questions from our audience?
Yep, I'm here. It's not midnight where I'm at. It's only 7 o'clock, so I'm good.
Okay, great. So I want to welcome our people to the stage. And since you're here live, we got 10 people live. I expect all of you to have a burning question. So that's the nature of playing full out. So don't go all at once. We're going to just open up one at a time. Raise your digital hand so that we can, okay, Empress is already on top of it. So let's go ahead and warm ManifestX. Welcome to Empress. That means everyone unmute your mic. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say, what's up, Empress? And that's how we do the ManifestX welcome. So unmute. 1, 2, 3. What's up, Empress?
What's up, Empress?
What's up? Man, Danella, right on time, because Empress is indulged with some summits and workshops and collaborating with amazing Miro because he's a hero. Boom, boom, aka the fucking killer. Thank you so much for your presence. My burning question is, one of the key things that you shared is the financial support. And right now I'm focusing on sponsorships. So what is the best effective way when it comes to sponsorships? Because a lot of people that I reached out for Synergistic Symposium, and other, epic events is they need a 90-day process or the event is too soon. So how can I accelerate people to say yes or fuck yes to sponsoring events?
So there's 2 parts to that. One, make sure that you're leading with the value for them for participating in your event. Like, why do they want to get in front of your audience? How are you going to serve and support them? But you touched on it. Know the kind of business that you're approaching. If you're approaching a solopreneur, I mean, I literally could pick up the phone and say, hey, Schroeder, I have an event coming up next week. I think you'd be great there. This is what they're looking for. They have this speaking spot. There's this investment. You get to do a lead generation, or you get to sell from stage. He's a solopreneur. He may have a team, but he's the one making the decision. So I can go right to him and he can make a decision quickly on whether that's a right fit for him. But when you start working with businesses and when you start working with corporations, the bigger they are, typically the more lead time you need. And if you're talking about big national companies, you might easily need 9 to 18 months. So it really is thinking ahead and approaching them with that, what's the benefit for them first? Because it may have to go up the chain, create a sponsorship deck, show them the value they're going to get and how you can support their goals, which might be cause marketing. It might be more impact in a community. It might be getting in front of potential buyers. So it's really understanding what's in it for them and understanding their decision-making time schedule.
Does it help, Empress?
Yes, thank you so much.
Up next,
Speaking of Schroeder,
Mary, I'm just pondering them there on the big screen. Hey, everybody.
what's up, Schroeder?
Hey,
What's up,
Mary.
Schroeder?
Thanks for having me, Empress and Danella. That was really, really impactful and insightful. My question, so it's so great after I feel like every time I show up for one of these summit with all of you movers and shakers, Miro, Danella, I think, like that much deeper into like this, I've got 20 years. You want to ask me anything about music, let's go. But the business stuff and running events. And so you talk about 17. Can you illuminate a little more on the 17? These magical, 17
okay, so you're going to have ticket prices and you're probably going to have multiple ticket prices. So that might be a couple of different revenue streams right there. You might be selling to your community. You might have different prices, early bird, tickets at the last minute. You might have VIP upgrades. You might have a super VIP option. So there's a few there. Then we move into sponsorships. There's straight up fees, revenue share, there's in kind. You might have donations, you might have partners, you might have merchandise that you're selling. If it's in person, you might be handling the concessions. That might be a moneymaker for you. You of course have your offer. You might do auctions. So there's definitely different ways, depending on the kind of event, that you might bring in revenue, and you're never going to do them all. And depending on the kind of event, it's probably 3 to 5, but it's not just tickets and your offer, which is what some folks do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Merchant auctions. So you would have what some people bring, like it's an auction. Okay, you've got that's kind of almost a sponsorship in itself. Hey, you've got business colleagues bringing prizes.
Yeah, like in person, we've had several events. There's a few companies I work with that will bring you the items like autographed musical instruments, autographed guitars, autographed lithographs. And if they tie in with the theme, like we did a women's event and we had all these incredible portraits of really incredible women entrepreneurs, and they were all signed, and we auctioned them off, and the auction house brings the items. They auction, they have a minimum, of course, but then 20% of that revenue comes back to the event because we brought the audience together. So it's a partnership with them. And then we also had a portion of that we added to our nonprofit. We had a nonprofit partner in our event. And so we used that, we raised money, we put a little money back into the coffers of the event, and we raised money for our nonprofit.
Genius, darling. I love it. Thank you. That gives me a lot to, yeah. And I mean, and it's the kind of thing where that, you know, for a digital live event, you know, digital event online, our business colleagues could contribute to our events. Myself, I could contribute to your event, you know, a 6-pack of voice lessons, let's say, whatever it is, to help each other out. That's really, I never thought of that. That's great. Thanks, Danella. Thanks,
You're
Miro.
welcome.
I want to give some context to that. This stuff really works. We did a charity event a couple of weeks ago, and we had 2 weeks to pull it off from zero, from scratch. And like literally, so we ended up having 59 tickets sold. It was for the Children's Freedom Fund. So 821 helping end child sex trafficking and ending slavery everywhere. Torch Foundation helps you know, kids, teen at-risk youth with empowerment, Lily from Compton and so on. And so really powerful cause. What we did is we had a silent auction as part of the revenue stream. So we had ticket sales, but then silent auction. And so Nikki actually got Warner Brothers to donate a crate of like these vintage vinyl records. And so they were auctioned off for hundreds of dollars, and then a few $1,000s came from that. All in all, we ended up raising $48,000 in 2 weeks for charity. So that was super great. And we got the venue donated. You know, that's the part, like a venue is a big expense. So one of the big lessons we learned is like get the venue donated, because like you save all that money, you know. That's so and so moving forward, I'm always going to have a charity part to our events, because it's just like feels good for everyone, and it just opens up more opportunity as well. So yeah, man, all of the things are possible. And when Danella, please share with us, because you have a generous gift for our community, and so some checklists, some things that people want. So talk about the gift that you have for us.
Yeah, so if you go to Danella 360, you'll actually see several things. You can connect with me directly, text me, my calendar's there. If you're thinking about an event, you want to talk through any challenges that you might be having, you want just, you know, a strategy session, feel free to get on my calendar. But you'll also see there's a button that says free gift. I have one for speakers. It's our Crush It from the Stage checklist. I have one that's the 6 steps to 6 events. It's the handout that we give when we do this lesson that I did here today in a little bit more detail. And you'll also see some of our upcoming events. I have my own 3-day event coming up next month called Visibility. We have a speakers competition that runs throughout it. And last year, we had over $100,000 in cash, gig, and prizes for the winners of the Visibility Speakers competition. So I would encourage you all, you know, come check it out. You'll see that this is exactly what we do. You know, I practice what I preach. Would love to see you there next month. Feel free to avail yourself of the resources there. And I'd love to get on the calendar and just have a conversation, see how I can serve and support you more greatly.
I'm like, Miro, fuck yes.
Love it. Love it.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
let's give a warm Manifest X thank you to Danella, everyone. Please unmute and just say thank you, Danella. 1, 2,
Thank
3.
you, Danella. Oh,
Thank you, Danella.
thank you, Danella. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
all.
We
Thank you so
highly
much.
appreciate you. We're grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Lovely. So thank you, Danella. I got to switch to-
Hey, Miro, you're kind of going in and out.
Mira, you're going in and out, love.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So what I wanted to share with you guys is that we have an event coming up as well. We have a Mexico retreat, and I just shared the information in the chat. We're at the pre-sale stage. That means it's not advertised yet, and right now it's half off. So go to Mexico with me and Harrison Klein and Nicole. We're going to Cabo, and it's a retreat with 200 executives, CEOs, and really high-level entrepreneurs, A-level speakers. We got James Dentley in there, who's a billionaire. We've got some really incredible people. So if you ever wanted to go on a retreat with us, or ever want to go to Mexico with a bunch of cool entrepreneurs, that's your opportunity. And it's gonna be some epic networking there. So yeah, just wanted to share that as we're speaking about events. I'm also celebrating that with you guys. Oh, some people say they don't see the link. I'll share the link here again shortly. I wanted to also celebrate with you guys because to get into the event game, you know, I went through all the nightmares that Danella was describing, like spending 6 figures on an event and then, you know, barely making 6 figures at that event. And so I've done pretty much every mistake you can think of, but I did have amazing guidance in the process. So, you know, now as a, you know, reward, the opportunity is I'm actually getting paid to go out to a retreat to speak. And so I just wanted to share that with you because, you know, I've paid to be in the rooms, I've paid to create the room, I've done all of that. And now, you know, on the flip side of that, being paid to go to Cabo, all expenses paid, flights are being taken care of. You know, that's on the other side of, you know, playing this game at a really high level and having the right support. So I just want to share with you guys to encourage you all to launch your event, get the right support, and attend events, be an amazing event affiliate, be an amazing event promoter, because that's a great way to ask others to promote you as well, because you're always going to source the exact same type of person that you are being. All right, with that, I'm complete. I love you guys. Definitely come back next week and follow Danella everywhere to the moon and back. She's the best. And we'll chat with you guys one-on-one or on the next Monday we have Vinny Chopra going to talk about his success mindset of how he became a billionaire and managing over $800 million in assets as a real estate investor. He's going to share all the goods and hold nothing back about how that works and everything. So I will see you guys next week. Love y'all.
Love you too. And I
Love
put
you
it
too.
back in
Thank you
the
so
track.
much.
I put it in the track, the Mexico Cabos. All right. Bye for now.
Thank you.